The hum of the highway was the only sound in the car until Leo reached over and cranked the volume on a playlist they'd been building since middle school. Beside him, Sarah was buried in a paper map, a stubborn refusal to use GPS that had already cost them 2 wrong turns and 45 minutes. "We're not lost," Sarah insisted, her voice competing with a synth pop beat. "We're just taking the scenic route through whatever this cornfield is called." Leo laughed, tapping his fingers on the steering wheel. "Sarah, the sign back there said, 'Last gas for 80 miles. If we're not lost, we're at least dangerously adventurous.'" The pact. They had been planning this trip since they were 16, sitting on Leo's back porch and staring at a faded poster of the Pacific Northwest. 10 years later, with 2 degrees, 3 breakups, and a dozen "we should really do this" texts between them, they were finally in a beat-up SUV heading toward the coast. The goal wasn't just the destination, it was the unplugging. No work emails, no dating apps, just 2 boxes of granola bars, a camera, and a decade of shared history. The breaking point. By day 3, the scenic route had led them to a literal dead end, a washed-out forest road in the middle of a torrential downpour. "I told you we should have turned left at the diner," Leo said, his voice tight. The adrenaline of the road was wearing off, replaced by the damp chill of the mountains. "And I told you the diner wasn't even on the map," Sarah snapped back. For a moment, the silence in the car was heavy. This was the side of friendship people rarely talk about, the friction of constant proximity. But then Leo looked at Sarah's frizzy, rain-dampened hair and the way she was clutching the map like a shield, and he started to chuckle. "We are terrible at this," he whispered. Sarah looked at him, her eyes softening. "The absolute worst." The reward. They ended up camping in the back of the SUV that night, eating cold beans out of a tin and watching the lightning illuminate the peaks through the windows. They talked until 3 a.m., not about the road, but about the things they hadn't said over the last few years. The fears of growing older, the feeling of being stuck, and the quiet comfort of knowing someone else truly knew them. When the sun rose, the clouds had cleared. They drove the final stretch to the coast in a comfortable, tired silence. As they stood on the edge of a jagged cliff overlooking the Pacific, the salt spray hitting their faces, Sarah finally folded the map and tucked it into her pocket. "So," Leo said, leaning his shoulder against hers. "Where to next?" Sarah smiled, looking out at the endless blue. "I don't care, as long as you're driving."